Although there are many various kinds of people in the world, some stand out more than others. A high-value man is an especially alluring person who doesn't seem to fit into any specific category or type. He is a man with goals. He has a high sense of self-worth, is emotionally intelligent, and follows his own path. Here are 10 things high-value guys never do because, while it can be challenging to pinpoint exactly what makes a man high-value, there are some things that high-value men absolutely don't do. First of all, they never assess themselves against others. Comparing yourself to others all the time can only make you unhappy. It causes feelings of inferiority, resentment, and jealousy. Instead of being grateful for what we do have, we concentrate on what we lack. When it comes to success, this style of thinking is very detrimental. We frequently ponder why other individuals are not like us when we regard their achievement as a danger rather than something to aspire for. Comparing oneself to others is something I do just as well as they do. Is an endless circle. No matter how successful you get, there will always be someone who is more successful than you, and the more successful you become, the more people will judge their own success against yours. A lose-lose dilemma exists. And high-value men are aware that evaluating themselves against others is a huge waste of time. He doesn't feel the need to prove himself to anyone because he is happy with who he is. Everyone has a unique road, and success varies. What might work for him might not work for someone else. You just set yourself up for sadness when you compare yourself to others. Focus on being the best possible version of yourself rather than comparing yourself to others. Don't worry about what others are doing. Concentrate on your own purpose. The only person to whom you should compare yourself is the version of yourself that you once were. You were on the correct track as long as you were moving in the right direction. Second, they never offer justifications or lament their circumstances. When you whine, you automatically embrace the victim mentality. Leave the situation, make a change, or just accept it. Anything else is madness. High-value men are doers, not whiners. He never justifies his efforts or places the responsibility for his problems on others. He is aware that he must take initiative if he wants something done. Complaining and protesting never improves anything. Making excuses demonstrates vulnerability and a lack of accountability. It demonstrates that you lack self-control and a lack of willingness to accept responsibility for your life. A real man of value makes sure he never puts himself in a predicament where he must find an explanation for his actions. One of the most disgusting traits in a person is their constant whining or justifications. It's incredibly uncomfortable, and it makes the other person uneasy. Women will never choose to be with a man who is constantly moaning and arguing. No one wants to be around someone who is perpetually negative and puts them down, and this is true of both women and people in general. Thirdly, they don't give a damn what people think of them. You are unaffected by what other people think of you. High-value males don't care what other people think about them, thus you're not in charge of their opinions of you. Codependency takes the form of ass-kissing. We attempt to influence how others perceive us and place a high value on their approval. This causes a great deal of tension and anxiety, and because we don't want to ruin our reputation, we become afraid to make errors or take chances. Many people experience continual fear, always attempting to meet the expectations of people and please them. However, a high-value man would not act in this manner. These men don't mind standing out, they embrace their differences and are at ease with who they are. They don't let other people tell them how to live their lives. Instead, they live by their own standards and principles. While it's crucial to respect others' ideas, you shouldn't ever let him rule your life. The only person who knows what's best for you is you. Always expect people to throw obstacles in your way. What happens depends on how you interpret the situation. Move on, be it a wall or a bridge. Fourthly, they never disparage or denigrate anyone. Being arrogant and speaking down to people not only gives you a negative impression, but it also makes you feel awful. Being conceited is a type of low self-esteem because it is a strategy for hiding your own insecurities by demeaning others. Being confident and being conceited are quite different things. Confidence is based on real accomplishments, but arrogance is based on the delusion that one is superior to others. True high-value men are self-assured, but they never speak down to others. No one is better than anyone else, everyone is on an equal footing. Regardless their social standing or professional accomplishments, they treat everyone with respect. Men are always conscious of their body language and tone of voice when speaking to someone of great value. They are aware that presentation matters just as much as content. They never talked over others or raised their voice. They would only come off as a bully if they did it. People frequently misinterpret these men's confidence for arrogance, yet they couldn't be more mistaken. True high-value men are self-assured. They don't feel the need to diminish others in order to feel good about themselves since they know their own value. Fifth, they never look for approval. Life is not a popularity contest, so live correctly. A man of high worth will act honorably without being asked and without setting any expectations. They act in a morally correct manner, not out of want for applause or adulation. A real high-value man makes a great example for others. He never looks to others for affirmation or praise. He sets an example and never seeks compensation. Whereas low-value males frequently require affirmation and acclaim in order to feel good about themselves. A guy of high worth is happy to do good merely because it is the morally correct thing to do. He is aware that his deeds speak louder than words and that he just needs his own approval. When low-value men start out to accomplish something creative, especially if it seems a little bit different, they frequently seek acceptance from those least inclined to provide it. These guys prefer the severe judgment of a single bright man to the mindless approval of the majority. The acceptance of others cannot, however, support a creative life, just as criticism cannot destroy it. Sixth, they never allow themselves to be exploited. Despite being kind and helpful, these men never let themselves be taken advantage of. If someone tries to take advantage of them, they will quickly put a stop to it because they are aware of their value and will not put up with being treated like a doormat. They won't consent to being twisted or used against them. There are many people in this world who are skilled at exploiting other people. They are self-centered and manipulative, taking advantage of everyone to further their goals. These men, however, are not simpletons. They are able to see a con artist from a mile away and will not put up with being used as pawns in another person's game. Unfortunately, a lot of people allow themselves to be exploited because they are afraid to speak up for themselves because they don't want to upset the apple cart. Instead of confronting the individual who is taking advantage of them, they would prefer to suffer in silence. This is particularly true at work, where people are frequently reluctant to speak up out of concern for their jobs. Additionally, a lot of low-value guys allow themselves to be victimized in order to go up the corporate ladder. For the sake of power and position alone, they are willing to accept the social structure that is currently in place. A real high-value individual opts to live outside of the system of authority. They don't care about power or status and would rather be free than be held captive to a job they despise. Seventh, they know when to be silent. Sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut because silence often speaks louder than words. Never believe that being loud indicates strength and being quiet indicates weakness. A true man of high value never says anything that can offend someone or cause a problem because every word he speaks has an impact. They are aware that it is sometimes preferable to keep silent and let others speak. A man of high value is a powerful silent type who knows how to take advantage of silence rather than feeling the need to fill every pause with pointless speech. They frequently employ silence as a means of testing people. By keeping quiet, they observe how the other person responds. This is a fantastic approach to get to know someone because when there is no pressure to speak, people are more likely to express their actual ideas and feelings. When we are upset, it can be especially difficult to keep our mouths shut because we want to be honest with our ideas and feelings. However, by remaining cool and reserved, any potential dispute is avoided before it even has a chance to begin. While low-value men frequently need to be the focus of attention, high-value men are happy to be in the background because they like studying other people and the world around them. Eighthly, they make an effort to avoid coming across as omniscient. You don't have to know everything. It's acceptable to make mistakes occasionally. High-value men aren't hesitant to own their ignorance. They are not hesitant to ask for assistance when necessary because they are aware that they cannot know everything. They recognize that we can all learn from one another and are humble and teachable. Acting as though you are an expert on everything will only make you appear foolish. People trying to appear to know more than they do are something we witness frequently. They try to appear knowledgeable by making lofty claims, but in actuality they have no idea what they're talking about. Contrary to popular belief, this behavior is more frequent than you may imagine since people are reluctant to acknowledge their ignorance. However, this merely causes irritation and embarrassment. Admitting that you need help is not a sign of shame. It is a sign of strength, not weakness, to ask for assistance. These individuals don't strive to impress strangers with their knowledge when they first meet them. They are humble and inquisitive people who are more concerned with getting to know others than impressing them. People are drawn to their honesty and openness and are hence more inclined to want to be around them, making them more attractive and approachable. They live in the present, which is reason number 9. Life is too brief, and high-value men live for today whereas other people live to party on the weekends. After a demanding week at work, the typical person views the weekend as an opportunity to go out and have fun. These men take advantage of the situation to advance their careers. These men get up early and make the most of the day while others are still asleep. High-value men aren't scared to work for what they want since the early bird gets the worm. These guys may appear to be all work and no play, but that isn't the truth. They know how to strike a healthy balance between the two. They don't allow their work overwhelm them, but they also don't squander their time on pointless activities. Naturally, they appreciate the occasional day off, but they don't let it control his life. They never strive to please everyone, which is number 10. You can't please everyone, and if you try, you'll just disappoint yourself. Men of high worth are not humans. These men aren't rude or uncaring. They just don't waste their time trying to make everyone happy or appease them. They also don't care what other people think of them and aren't afraid to speak their minds. Pleasers don't do it because they realize that it's impossible to please everyone all of the time. It's simple to become preoccupied with other people's perceptions. We compare ourselves to others and want to emulate their success, yet doing so not only fosters sentiments of jealousy and anger but also detracts from our own distinctive qualities and abilities. High-value men are aware that in order to succeed, they don't have to appease everyone. Instead, they concentrate on their own objectives and desires while letting the naysayers vent. They understand that their chosen road is unique and that no one else can travel it or comprehend it.